Good evening, my fellows South Africans. Tonight I'd like to discuss a very serious issue that we have at the moment in our country, employment. Maybe we should start taking a deep look at ourselves regarding employment. Why would I mention something like that? Yes, I mean, we're not talking about the outside investors and new companies getting built and all that thing. We're talking about the employment that is available for us South Africans at the moment within our own borders. You know, I hear this one character screeching about slave labours and all that type of nonsense. He's actually talking piffle. Because South Africa is a country that's got rules and regulations. We will never, ever, ever allow slave labour to take, will be allowed to happen in our country. We will nip it in the bud immediately. Our police and our judicial system will not allow it. Yes, we know that there have been people that try to slip through the cracks, but that's normal all over the world. But that's all perfect. But what are we going to do about these immigrants? Is it our fault, or is it all these illegal aliens coming through the borders that we have been told that they are taking our jobs? Why are they taking our jobs? Has anybody mentioned why? They don't come with that slave labour nonsense that they're willing to work for 5 cents a year and all that nonsense. I'm not interested in that. I'm talking about a much more serious thing. I think the South Africans need to start taking a serious look at themselves and picking up their productivity. They are, let's be honest, the average South African is not very productive, are they? I'd like your opinion on that, and I would really appreciate it. All the people out there, give me your honest answer on this one question. Are the South African workers productive? Yes, we have been able to work hard in the past, but now what are we doing? We're allowing them to come and take the illegal immigrants to come into our country and just take jobs from us. And it's not because it's cheap labour, it's because it's actually, we are expensive labour. Reason being because we are basically unproductive. We need to get our productive levels up. Unless you start right from grade zero, when you start school, grade 0 or 0 or whatever they call it. We need to start thumping the word production into people's head. You have to be productive. If you're not productive, any company cannot operate if it's unproductive. There's no point in having a company. You're going to run at a loss. So what's the point? Okay. Now, like I said one more time, that word slave labour, I don't want to hear that coming out from that peanut, because he's talking nonsense. He doesn't know what he's talking about. If he wants to see slave labour, he'll come out now. We'll have a debate. He's come sit by me and we can talk about the slave labour nonsense. He's talking about crap. He doesn't come with that nonsense there. But let's be honest, yes, I know that China and India like to use inferior, or what they call slave labour. That's what's happening. And look what the products that are coming out of these countries. Let's look at your fake business. That's another thing I want to speak about. Sorry, this so-called slave labour or child labour, whatever you want to call it. Who's supporting it in this country? Take a deep think about this. There's those fake T-shirts and that with Gucci or whatever it's written on there, those fancy names, and those funny shoes that you guys wear.
Knox.
Nikes and Pikes, whatever they call that crap. It's from China and India now. Why are we supporting them? Why are we supporting those inferior products? Why? Because we think you're saving a bob. You're not saving a bob. You're creating mayhem in our country by supporting this fake crap. That must come to an end too. Needs to be shipped straight away. Right, now, another good question from you. I believe that, what do they call it? Sorry about this, people. We need to start taking these unions by the short and curlies and giving them a good yank and a squeeze. The unions are going to destroy this country. At the moment, it seems that the unions are running our country. Why? Because they're telling the people, come, we go and strike, we do this, we do that. No, it shouldn't be like that. The union should also be protecting the employers. They only want to protect the so-called employees, which is a lot of nonsense. What about the employers? The employers are the backbone of that, of employment. And yet our unions seem to be fighting against us with the backing of the government, of course, because they love the union characters. I haven't got a problem with unions because a union run correctly is good because it does protect the employee who is the main guy at the end of the day. We need to look at those, that's us, as citizens. We are the employees, we're not the employers. So a lot of us are just employees, like I'm a pensioner, that's immaterial. So all unions need to follow a guideline set by the government, not the other way around. Think about it, reply, please give your comments and we can get back to you on that one as well. That is a definite that has to take place. Going back to employment, I was thinking back in my days with ICO. So, and then I'm going to ask Mr. Caton Mackenzie if you could please answer this for me. I'm recalling back, I'm talking about the 1980s now, the mid-80s, 1980s. I worked for a company called ICO, ICAL. We actually built the boilers at Kendal Power Station. We installed them there. We were a mixture of all the races of South Africa. We were all together working there in harmony. Yes, there were a few issues we had, but you know the normal nonsense that people get drunk and smoking in, what do you call that stuff? There was cabbage in it, we did the om and dom. But I actually found myself sitting with a crowd of guys, and they were colours. Anyway, at the end of the day, I seem to enjoy their company more than sitting with the white guys or any of the other nations. Because I found that their sense of humour was pretty remarkable. They had a totally different sense of humour to the rest of us South Africans. If you get to sit with them, you will understand what I'm talking about. They've really got a great sense of humour. Anyway, one day, the one guy said to me, the one guy called me and said to me, I'm plain white. Mr. Mackenzie, please. When I walked at that given time, I actually walked away thinking that I'd been insulted. But when I look back on it after a couple of months or whatever it was, when I look back on it, I felt that they were not insulting me. I think they were telling me that they were accepting me as one of their clique, one of their group, as one of their group. And from there, I built a fantastic relationship with many colours. I can, if you contact me, I'll give you a list of colours that you can phone, and or I'll give you their phone, their WhatsApp numbers, and you can speak to them and say, this racial thing needs to stop. This racist thing that keeps taking place in our country, we need to stop it. Because it hasn't always been there. I recall going to a hotel one night, myself and a guy by the name of S.A Adams. He was a brilliant welder, probably one of the best welders I've ever worked with. He was a speedster. I think that because of welders like him, that is why they came up with the idea of how to make automatic welding machines, because that guy could weld, I promise you. I've never seen a guy that could weld that with that speed. Never, ever in my entire life. Kind of guy. Anyway, we got called that. I don't know if you people know what the SRF is. Anyway, that's a solid recovery furnace, so those are not too clear. And inside the solid, in the furnace, you got what we call the basket. Is where all the process takes place to produce paper. So you need to get some chemicals in that out of this whole process. Anyway, some clown went and knocked some holes into this composite tubing. And now Cecil Adams was one of the welders that was trained to weld this tubing. Composite tubing, if you look on the YouTube thing or go into Google, you can go and see what composite tubing is actually, how it's made up of two different materials and type of things. It's a very specialized welding technique. Anyway, on arriving at Umgudwana, which is there close to Nelspruit, actually just after you go Waterval Burger, Waterval Honor, and then you go to Nelspruit. Nola, they call it a very new name for it now, I call it Nelspruit. And on the way there, on the way from Underberg, from Waterval Honor to Nelspruit, they booked us into a hotel. I cannot remember, recall the name. Anyway, myself and sister arrived there, just the two of us, to go and do the specialised job for Seppi. Seppi, that's right, Seppi. Lo and behold, we get there and walk into the hotel, and it had already been pre-booked for this. Anyway, they made a mistake with the bookings. I get there. Now there's only one room. It's got a double bed in it. We've just driven all the way from Durban. We are tired. We're not in the mood for this nonsense. Anyway, myself and sister, they said they're going to see what they can do. We had sat there a good couple of pig's ears, beer. Anyway, they came and said, no, they apologise. They can't help us at this stage. We're going to have to try and make some, just try and share the room. So, of course, the two of us go upstairs. Our sister was quite a big size guy. He was quite healthy, not like me, I was small. And we had to share a double bed. Now, you must recall this happened in 1991. We were still in the old apartheid days.
The point is?
The point is, how did myself and Cecil end up sleeping in the same bed? And I can promise you, we're not faggots. No. And we had to share that bed that night. But I can tell you one thing. When we got to site the next morning, we pushed that job to make sure we weren't going to sleep in that hotel that night. Not sharing beds, pal. We made a beeline. We got to the job, got the work job done, dusted, Cecil done the job with the welding, so I knew nothing was going to leak. They were still filling the frigging furnace up with water when we were already on our way back to Durban. Of course, the bosses in Durban weren't very happy with us because they said, you've got to stay for the pressure test. We said, we're not staying. There's no place for us to sleep. We're not sharing the bed again. And look what's happened. We became great friends. No. So if we could have done that in 91, a white guy and a coloured guy, and we had to share a double bed, can you just imagine if the powers that had been had ever heard of that? That's what would have had me locked up for being a Faraya, and Cecil had him locked up for God knows what, some apartheid dumb law. But anyway, please, Mr. Gaten McKenzie. Another thing, I want to know, I've been in South Africa, I'm classed as a white person.
Time's running out.
Okay, I'm going to talk quickly now. But yet, my blood, when I look in my history, I'm from Scottish, English, German, Jew, and French. That is me. So what am I classed as? Please let me know. Or somebody else, can they please tell me what I am? As far as I'm concerned, I was born in South Africa, so I must be a South African. So I must be a South African. I can't be white. Or what do you people think about that? What am I? Please, somebody can tell me. Do I classify myself as a coloured or licorice, all sorts, or what? Please let me know. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Lisa, can you close up for us, please?
Yeah. Thank you, guys. Please like and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts and what you guys think. Doesn't take 2 seconds just to give a little comment there in the comment box. And then, so communication is the key, hey? Communication is the best thing, best policy. Take care, guys. God bless.
Sorry, one more.
Okay.
Just one more thing I'd like to know, just to add to this union story. I thought they were there to protect us, not to extort us.
Exactly.
Are they protection or are they extortion? Let me know in the comments below. I'd really appreciate that. Remember, the unions I'm talking about. Are they protection or extortion? Please let me know. Thank you so much once again. I won't make the mistake again.